Ciao everybody, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Julian Gennady and I'm doing a match day 31 post-match reaction to Juventus and Napoli. And we've seen this before in April. Our third loss on the trot in Serie A. Our fifth non-win of the month of April in the really decisive month of April. And the show goes on. Stick with us, we'll fill you in of what our reaction is. Welcome back. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of what happened today, it was a 1-0 loss to Napoli at home. But in comparison to the other results and the way we've played, it was actually a bit better than what we've seen this past month of April, especially on the return of from the international break. It was a lot better, and when you saw the starting lineup, you were thinking, like me probably, oh boy. You saw Rugani starting, you saw Moretti and Sule starting. You thought Sule was going to be on the graveyard shift as a second forward, but we actually started the game off in a 4-3-3. Who would have thought? With Sule on the right and Kostic as a left winger, not a left wing back, and then Moretti, the one who's getting in behind into the channels beyond Milik. He was the midfield runner in behind. And it was okay for the first, it was actually pretty decent for the first 15, 20 minutes or so. And then, as per usual, we didn't get the goal, so we sat back and soaked up pressure and invited a lot of pressure for the rest of the half. Fair enough. It only makes you want to think what could have been if you started the better players. If you started Di Maria on the right wing, if you started, let's say, Fagioli or a Pogba even, running behind Milik's hold-up play, link play, and maybe even Chiesa playing out on the left wing. Just makes you think, is it a missed opportunity? But again, I understand why everything happened today, why the starting lineup was what it was, because we have the Coppa Italia game midweek again against Inter, the semifinal return leg. So I understand why we set up the way we did. But I thought it was going to be a lot worse. So, the first half was the first half. Second half, I guess I should address the one thing in the first half, the Gatti slap, or whatever you want to call it. Sure, I hope Kvaratskhelia has a great dental plan or a great medical plan and he's able to chew on his food after this match, because he probably broke all the bones in his face. Like, whatever. Are you serious? That was nothing. Anyway, moving on to the second half. Again, there was not many clear-cut chances for both sides. I can't recall any, like, oh my God, they should have scored that, they should have scored this, whatever. A lot of half chances here and there. And then, obviously, what happened in the 83rd minute, 84th maybe? Straight counterattack, straight kicked the ball long. Di Maria was on a half breakaway. He was onside from his own half, and he scores a goal. Or he puts the ball away, we'll say. So we're thinking, from the minute that ball went into the net, I said, that's not a goal. And I said that because of what happened with Milik and Lobotka. And on first thought, for myself, I thought no goal. I thought that was a foul, to be honest. When you slow things down, it never helps. It never helps if you go frame by frame, slow things down, like take screenshots. If we recall the Milan Napoli game in the Champions League, Rafael Leao on Lozano, I think it was that, or those two players involved. That incident was very similar to the Milik one and Milik and Lobotka one, but I think Milik actually touched Lobotka's shin first. I'm never biased with referees and decisions and all that stuff. Should you have let it go? Was it so conclusive that the referee made an egregious mistake? No. So I guess in the spirit of that, VAR shouldn't be really used. But when you invite a referee to make a decision based on still images and slow-mo, they're gonna make it. They're gonna see what they see. So until you sort that sort of stuff out with the referee association and the way it's used in the spirit of the game, they're always going to take that goal away. They're always going to call a foul because they can see slow-mo or still images. So again, I knew that was coming back. You saw the legs rattle. Um, if the referees are supposed to make a decision on a clear and obvious error, then I don't think it should have been called back. But I know what refs see on those screens. I know how people think. And they're going to obviously call the goal back. So that's why I thought, in my opinion. And I wasn't too mad about that. My dog is licking his paw right now, so I apologize if you hear that. Um, so yeah, again, I knew right away, so I didn't get amped up. I wasn't rattled because it got called back because I knew it was happening. The Chiesa one, I would have liked to see the ball out, like, the still image of the ball being crossed the line. I would like to see that, but obviously they didn't show that. I haven't seen it on social media either. But and I'm gonna be kind of weird here, but I trust the VAR system enough to say if the ball went out. Because if that ever got out, that the ball never went out, then there's a massive problem. But again, so 2 goals disallowed for Juventus, and I agree with both as of now. And then Cuadrado decides to dive. Yes, there was contact, but he dove. He was looking for that. He was looking for the contact to fall over. He didn't have to do that at all. He was gassed. He was caught up in a 93rd minute in the opponent's area. Totally vacated his spot because Napoli went back the other way. Ball went to the right side, clipped in back post. Cuadrado nowhere to be seen. And who do you know? Raspadori scores the goal. And Justin Safaro, fellow member of the Bianconeri zone, we were kind of rattled when Napoli made the signing because we thought he was perfect for Juventus. Just a jack of all trades attacker that can pop in goals because he has pure quality. And that one stings. That's the biggest myth I have. Not because Napoli beat us, not because we got 2 goals disallowed. It's because that dude that I wanted, that should be on Juventus, scored against us. Because again, at the end of the day, we're still third. Yes, Milan is approaching us rapidly, and Roma has to play Atalanta tomorrow to see where, or today, depends on when time you're watching. They have to see where they place and how close they get to us. But yeah, it was a game breakdown or what the big events in the game. Let me know what you guys think. I'm assuming a lot of Juventus fans are rattled because they thought the Milik play was clean. Again, it's clean enough. It's not. I don't think it was a clear and obvious error, but when you have still images and the ref is called to go to VAR, the outcome was totally obvious that it was going to be a no goal. So I understand that. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. The stats were the stats. 65-35 possession. Expected goals. When you take away the 2 goals disallowed for Juventus and the goal given for Napoli, expected goals were 1.24 to 0.35. It was a lot closer than that. That discrepancy didn't seem like it was that far away. But again, rules are rules, so they are what they are. They had 17 shots. We had 7. Again, that was our best game of the month, and we lost still. And it's our 3rd loss in a row in the league, and I don't think I've ever seen us go through that before. Maybe that one season when it was 2015, 2016, when we were so bad at the beginning of the year, and then we came back to win the title. But I don't recall the last time we've lost 3 in a row in the league. And it is what it is. I knew this was going to happen. It's just weird that they played better than what they usually do. Big props to Sule, who's very good. Moretti, who was very good. Gatti was very good. And Danilo was pretty good too. And Locatelli. Other than that, I thought Rabiot was I thought Milik was okay linking up play, holding the ball up. Kostic was brutal. I thought Kostic was actually horrendous. Who else? Cuadrado was horrendous. And Rugani, credit to him. Credit to Rugani. Good for him. Stepped up. He didn't get embarrassed by anybody. He was actually very solid, so kudos to him. If he didn't make 3.5 million euros, nobody would have a problem with Rugani. I don't think. But because his wage is so high, it is what it is. People place the money to the player, and you should. No fault to the player making 3.5 million, by the way, because the club agreed to sign him to that, but guilty by the amount of money he makes. I think the style of play we did was a lot better. It was a lot neater, quick 1-2s, especially at the beginning of the game and towards the end. The middle part of the game for like 60 minutes or so, 45 to 50, 60 minutes, we couldn't get a handle of the ball. But when we did, and when we took it to Napoli, we actually looked pretty good. And those are the league leaders by like 17 points or something. So again, if you have that mentality throughout the whole season, the way you want to play against Napoli, you beat Sassuolo last week. You even beat Lazio the week before. You beat Sporting Lisbon by a lot more than you did. It's just the approach and mentality you have going into games has to be better. And if you approach more games like you did today or against Napoli, you probably win a lot more times than you haven't this year. And I think that's the biggest gripe with Juventus fans, or that they have in general. If Allegri set out like he did against Napoli for the whole season, people will say probably not, maybe not Allegri in, but like they'll be like, well, we'll be closer to winning more things, and we would have got out of the Champions League group stage. We probably would have been a lot better off this season. But again, it is what it is. You can't complain. Well, you can't complain, but the season is what the season is. It's a battle for top 4. Just don't let Milan catch you at this point. If you don't let Milan or Inter catch you, you're making top 4. You got the league goal at this point. Against Inter on Wednesday, I'd like to see the same approach because I think they're gettable. Of course they're gettable. They have double-digit losses. I think they're gettable. And then, again, against Sevilla, same thing. Use the same approach you used today and go at them. If it's Moretti being the advanced midfielder, fine. Play Moretti then. If he's going to continue to play like he has in the past 2 games, let him do it. If it's Di Maria on the right wing or Sule, I'm comfortable with both. Again, if Sule does what he did today and what he's done in the past. The only thing I don't want is Kostic going out on the left wing and crossing random balls into the box where nobody's there, or it's horrible. Because when he's a left winger, he's more up the field and he's in the byline more, and that's when his crosses are worse. He's better when he's crossing before the 18-yard box, and I think I've gone over this so many times. But again, let's look forward to Wednesday. Hopefully next week when we play, I think we play Empoli next week in Serie A. Hopefully it won't be a 4th loss, but the main goal is at this point, do whatever you need to do to get out of the Coppa Italia and into the final. So with that, thank you all for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And you know what? Even though today was kind of encouraging, still a loss. The standard is it's not good enough. Especially from some of your more experienced players. It wasn't good enough. But with that, thank you all for watching. Like or subscribe to the channel, like I said. Follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Bianconeri Zone. Follow myself if you want at Gennady151. And Alejandro went to the game, went to Torino to watch the match. I'm curious to see what he has to say, because he told me he's glad that he didn't watch the game, or he didn't have to do the post match. I think he has a massive issue with the call, the no-goal call, and I think he has an issue with Cuadrado, which is obvious. But again, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Ciao.